Hello everyone, let me know if you can see me. Hello, hello. All right. Let me know if you guys can see and hear me. Everything looks good on my end. Remember, if there's any questions you want to ask, make sure you put some emojis at the front of them, a whole couple of them on the stream, and then I'll answer the most civil ones and the ones I feel like would be the most interesting. Yeah, I thought an interesting topic might be, what have you learnt from bad relationships? And not the cliche comedic, women are bad, you know, my exes were idiots or whatever, but more about yourself. Going forward, what you won't tolerate anymore, what your boundaries are, what you learnt about yourself, what before you thought was exciting or cool or hot, and now it's like, been there, done that, I don't need that in my life anymore. I don't care how attractive it is. That's the kind of thing. What have you learnt? It's really easy to throw stones at people and point out what's wrong. But what have you learnt from your negative experiences? And also, okay, there's the cliches. Everyone's going to throw the cliches of, you know, women can't love you, or women can't love men the way men want to be loved, or women are different to the way they see love as compared to men, and things like that. I get it. What have you learned? That's what I find interesting, because that's the kind of thing that'll make your life better going forward. Around women, whether you want to have relationships or not. So let me know what you guys think. Let me see the comments section, and I'll pop out the chat so I can read your questions a bit better. That's better. Hope everyone's good. It's 2nd of May in Melbourne here. Really nice, cool, still autumn, I think it is. I think we're in autumn morning. I like these kind of days. Autumn and spring are probably my favorites, followed by winter. Daniel says, he doesn't say. I was about to read Daniel's message and the message was retracted. Now, when it says message retracted, does that mean Daniel got rid of it himself or YouTube did? Because sometimes messages are deleted or retracted, and I'm not sure if you guys do it or YouTube does. Brad says, no woman wants me, I drive a Honda. Yeah, part of that is actually, they're little things where you can actually tell if a woman's materialistic. Where if you rock up to a date just wearing jeans and a t-shirt, you look fine, but they're not impressed, or they're not impressed by your car, or they're not impressed by the material stuff. That's actually a good test. Now, the thing is, you don't need to overdo it, to overcompensate. Like, you don't turn up in, you know, just a singlet, and you don't turn up looking like you just woke up. In the same way, if a woman looked like trash on a first date, you'll actually think, you'll play into interpreting her lifestyle and who she is in her life based on how she looks. So you don't want to be fake. Be yourself. when I was still living at home when I was younger, I remember we had the family car that everyone used to borrow, but also there'd be an old van, and only my father and myself would drive it. But it was a beaten up old van with rust, but I loved it. And I would intentionally take the van on first dates just to gauge women's reaction. And my sister would always say, "Stop turning up in the van, will you? Just be yourself. Don't undercompensate just to test her." But then again, especially today, yes and no, I suppose. I suppose if your biggest concern with women is that they're fake, that they're pretending they're not materialistic, then actually showing up in a way that exaggerates your non-materialism might be a good thing. If you see it's invisible to them, they don't care, that could be a good sign. Because this is the hard thing I found, and most guys find, is the fakeness of dating. People put on acts, and then you get together in relation to an act the other person's putting on. And then later on, you've wasted time, you feel frustrated. So you want to be as genuine as possible. That's hard enough when you're nervous and like someone. So you got to be a bit you got to be careful about that. Don't overcompensate, as in don't act yourself. Don't, because you're worried about a woman being materialistic, don't act like a super poor guy and dress like someone you aren't to exaggerate something you really, really want confirmation of. We need to be smarter than that and be open and honest enough to ask questions and get them to reveal straight away who they are. Not put up with a woman being aloof and kind. On the first date, ask anything you want to ask. Be civil, polite, and all that. Don't be rude, but don't avoid topics that you really want to know about. And if you do ask about things that you're worried about, like whether she's a gold digger or she's materialistic, whether she really cares about you or just the stuff you have, or the life she can provide you, or the kids she can provide you, or the dream of marriage and whatever she can provide you. If you're really wanting to be convinced that she likes the guy, i.e. potentially you, don't be afraid to ask questions that'll reveal that, and pay attention to them. Don't avoid that and think, well, I really like her, I don't want to mess anything up, so I'll keep it light. I'll keep it about the weather and chit-chat and our coffee and the dinner and all that kind of stuff. Robert says, experience has taught me that women are turned off by a man that allows her to crash his boundaries. Yes, but this is the thing too. A woman that intentionally crashes boundaries to test a guy. That's why I'm saying don't overcompensate to test a woman yourself, because you're showing yourself to her in a fake way. So in the same way, if a woman tests you with methods by which she can test whether you're a guy that's safe, if she's always poking and prodding and SHIT testing you, you're just going to see an irritating woman who's one of those women you don't want to be with, a complaining, annoying, typical woman, but she might be testing you. My thing is, I don't care. I'm going to interpret the person in front of me on a date, the person I'm with. I don't know if she's acting or not, and a lot of times women don't know themselves. Their biology is testing you. So I think the healthiest thing is just to be yourself, be open and honest, say what you want to say, ask the questions you want to ask, and pay attention if the person's doing the same thing back. If they're being aloof and quiet, don't excuse that as them just being shy. What are you going to do? Be with a shy girl for months and months and months and fall in love with that girl, and then later find out she was just hiding. She was acting. She was keeping her mouth shut and observing you. Don't waste your time, guys. Icar says, Human, can you tell us your thoughts about keeping the frame in a long-term relationship, please? Well, I think as I just intimated, I don't think you need to keep your frame. Be yourself. If they don't like you, they can take a hike and they can find someone else. Or they can go find another actor where they can be an actress. But I don't want to live a life like that, because I certainly don't consciously act with my family and friends. I'm relaxed and I try and just enjoy my time and be myself, whatever myself is. But having to, it's like lying and then remembering your lies. That's what I feel like acting is when you're on your best behavior with women, when as a guy you put on the Romeo act. So, keeping frame, man. Don't. Who cares? It's the same with pickup lines. You know, you just talk to a person. Everyone's a human being. Or you hope they are. Ken G. I learned that women want me to lead. As much as they complain, they will resent me after a period of time if they feel they have to be in charge. This is true. For all that women, you know, they tell you that, all women have hypergamy in them, right? It's true. It's not so much, and look, women ostensibly, from what a man sees, because man sees the architecture of a relationship. He sees the walls, the roof, he sees the objects of a relationship. He sees clearly the structure, right? Yes, women love money, but why do they love money? It's what they can buy. They don't care about the dollar notes and everything. They don't care about earning it. It's not a thing that they value like men do, because we earn it, and through the earning, we like the reward of having the money because of all the blood, sweat, and tears we've put through to get it. We appreciate money in a different way to women. Women like what it gives them. Okay, what does it give them? Security and stuff. You want a woman to like you? Make her feel safe. That's it. Money makes her feel safe. Security makes her feel safe. You making her laugh on a date makes her feel safe. She's thinking, her biology is saying, if this guy can laugh, he's so relaxed, he's not worried about life. He's not fearful of anything. So women just want to be made to feel safe in your company. That's it. Money today is the easiest predominant language that everyone understands. It's superficial, and men feel resent it because we understand what money is to us. It's the work we put in to earn something, but that's not what we work. The guys that are married and work for a family and a woman, this is their contribution that they put in. This is their role, and they hope they're appreciated through this. But what men resent is being loved for just being a workhorse, not the guy that protects and keeps them safe. That guy today is more and more invisible to women, and that's what men resent. You know, his contribution, his effort to the relationship is invisible. You know, you can drop any other guy in there, and that's what guys today resent. You know, the woman doesn't, if she's married to Joe, she doesn't love and appreciate Joe for what he does. She loves and appreciates what he does, and he just happens to be Joe. But she can replace Joe with Frank or John or whoever. That's the thing that guys find a betrayal. Some new faces here that I haven't seen before. Daniel says he deleted his comment because of misspelling. It's all right, man. I unless I completely can't read it, I tend to get the gist of what people are writing. That's another thing. A lot of people, their grammar is really bad. I mean, I make mistakes too. I'm not perfect. You've seen in a lot of videos when I've typed and put my videos together, I've made spelling mistakes. But when you read someone's comment, and it's not that they've made typos or you can tell that maybe they've made a mistake because they're typing on their mobile phone and they've accidentally written something incorrectly, or it's auto-corrected. But when you can actually see their grammar is terrible and they can't spell, that's just, it might be a generational thing, but I think it's pretty sad because through writing and expressing yourself as well as you can defend yourself through your words to people and your life around you. You know what to say. And on the topic we're talking about, when you're on a date, you're in control because you know how to think, speak, often better than the other person that's trying to manipulate you, and biology might be trying to manipulate you. So yeah, again, I'll be a parrot. Learn to write, think, and speak properly, guys. Robert says, being cool and disinterested is attractive to women, especially if you're already in a relationship. Yeah, all these kind of gaming techniques, you know, if you neg women, if you act like you're not interested, they're more interested. I don't want to act the opposite of my true emotions and my true feelings and thoughts. I want to communicate directly. I don't want to play a game with myself and doubt my own sanity and how I want to communicate. You know, if I want to turn left, I don't turn right because I want to get to the destination where left is, if you know what I mean. To me, it's ridiculous. I don't know. It's always annoyed me, especially because women say, I want a man who's honest. But you have to play these opposite games with them because that's the way women are. It's like, then don't tell me to be honest. But I suppose that's their way of being opposite anyway. Again, don't listen to what women say. Pay attention to how they act, and then act in accordance with how women act and how you want to be. Because that's the other thing. Could you tolerate acting as Mr. Opposite to live with a person or get along with them? Where you can be direct with guys and your friends, but when it comes to pumpkin, all of a sudden up is down, left is right, black is white. No. Jay Wickman says, it was a relief to realize that physical beauty is not enough. Yeah, I realized that in my early 30s, around 30, I remember the value of how beautiful a woman was, especially her face. Like, you know, you want the whole package. Victoria's Secret model, body and face, and hopefully personality. Then all of a sudden, yeah, face doesn't have to be perfect. Then all of a sudden, as you go on, like, the personality is the most important thing. Then I want her to sort of be physically appealing. I want to sleep with her. So yeah, the facial beauty to me is not that important at all. In fact, as I've gotten older, I mistrust perfect kind of super, you know, model looking women because their attitude usually matches. A lot of them tend to be arrogant. I've tended to always either like the girl next door, simple, plain look, but I've always preferred a better body over a beautiful face. I seem to be able to trust it more. I noticed that as I got older. Because women with like perfect, beautiful faces that you know every man wants, it usually comes with a personality that's gotten everything they want because of that feature. Hey Joe 212 says, I learned that I need to be able to walk away. That means I could never be married again. I asked myself, how hard would it be to untangle this relationship? Yeah, it's the movie in Heat. Be able to walk away in 30 seconds flat. It's a stoic principle, but realistically, let's put ourselves in a situation when you're deeply in love with someone, or you've got kids, or you're married to them. The theory's good, but it'd be hard to do. But still, I contend, it's good to have that principle as a high principle, right? So to have an extreme, very stoic, good moral principle, have good, strong, high values, It's better to be calibrated to that. So then when you need to do the right thing, you're more likely to, because your values are very, very high. You've got high standards. Rather than your standards are very low, it's like, whatever. Then when it comes to the crunch, when you're being manipulated, when you're being used, when you're in a relationship you don't like, you're more likely to be, whatever. What are you going to stand up for if when you're single and clear and you can think straight, you don't care? I'll put up with anything. Everything's relative. I don't know what I'd do in any situation. You're better off being very black and white. Like, no, if a woman did this, I wouldn't tolerate this. Or this is what I do want in a woman. This is what I don't want. So then when it happens, you're more likely to follow that. So that's why if you don't have your values and principles, if you're just a whatever person, then it's going to be worse for you, because you're just going to be led around and used and thrown away. And you won't know how to say no and stand up for yourself and have a good life with her or without her, or the ability to leave and be without her for your own health. Remember, guys, if you want to ask a question, put some emojis before your question so that I can see them on the chat. Just a guy says, I've learned not to overlook red flags and set higher standards. Yes, of expectations, and walk away more easily from situations that I may have put up with in the past. Yes. Again, learn to reveal the real person. A lot of women stay quiet because they might like you, and then later on what happens is they reveal who they are. I made a video earlier this year. People always go, oh, women change, women change. Women don't change. Women just drop the mask. They get tired of acting. A lot of women, they stay compliant because they want to be with you. They want the security. They like a lot about you. And it's not that they think you can change. Some of them do. But you believe what you see. That's what you fall in love with. And then later on, when they see and feel that they've got you, when you say, I love you, when they can actually feel and see through your actions, your words, and how you are with them in your life, you start to see them change. But they don't change. They start being themselves. The person that was quiet for a long time because they didn't want to scare you away. That's what drops. Yeah, Ted1775 is ask a woman for money and gauge her response. Or ask her for something. I made a couple of videos. One predominantly, ask her for something. Have needs, gentlemen. Have some needs as a guy, because too often the stoic posture of guys online in the manosphere is, be self-reliant and stuff for you. Don't forget, for you, not for her. Be self-reliant. A woman tends to like that. A woman likes a guy leading and being self-assured. I get it. But you like it for yourself. It's not for her. And so if you can, because of who you are, help out, yeah, she likes it. But because men are so self-reliant, they think, I feel like a macho man because I don't ask for anything. I don't need anything. Oh, love, that's ridiculous. I don't need love. I'm a rock. I'm this stoic slab of granite that doesn't feel anything. I'm just tough. And all I need is sex. I don't need any feeling. It's like, no, ask for something. Then you know if the person you think cares about you is an illusion. Ask her for things. Then you'll know if she actually loves or cares about you. Have some needs. Ask her to get something for you where she doesn't benefit. That's very important. Learn to actually ask for things, guys. There's too many guys in the manosphere that don't ask for anything. Think that it's well-meaning because men help each other out in life. We like doing things for each other, for our friends. But the thing is, when it comes to a woman, I know a woman likes you to be in charge, but the only way you're going to know if what she says is genuine, if she's not showing it through action, you have to ask for things so then she can show it and gauge how she reacts. If she says she's very giving and she's all the things you like in a woman, but she doesn't show them, but she just talks about it all the time, like she's always marketing herself, every once in a while, ask her for something It's not a big thing. You could, I don't know, you could be out and while she's, I don't know, getting out of the car to get something, while you're in the car, you say, hey, babe, can you get me something? Get me blah, blah, blah. Or on your way back from work, can you pop in and get this? Or basically where she has to go out of her way to get something or do something just for you where she doesn't benefit at all. And gauge if she's actually happy about it or it doesn't bother her at all. Those are good barometers. But if she's annoyed or she says, oh, can you get it? Or I'm too tired or I won't be able to, or it's too much to do or whatever it is, if there's always a pushback and she always makes a little girly excuse and she's never able to do anything for you, basically because she can't be bothered. Whereas other things, whether it's for her and her interests, she goes out of her way. She's got a smile on her face. She'll pause things so she can do things for others or herself. Pay attention to those things because that's the way you know as a guy that a woman does care, that it makes sense for you. Because don't forget, guys, we're human doings. We like proof in the world. We do things and it makes sense. So when a woman does things, that's where it makes sense for us. She can't just say she loves you. She has to show it in action. It's not so much asking a woman. I suppose asking a woman for money, women find that a turn-off. So money's an extreme because that's sort of, if you're always asking for money from women, it's like if anyone asks you for money all the time, it can be a turn-off. But from a woman, for primal instinct, that's a turn-off, right? That's why I say ask her to do things for you. Ask her to go out of your way, because if she naturally does, then I suppose it more resembles your family and friends that care about you. They genuinely care about you and they want to treat you well. That's the thing. Guys often don't realize that it should be very similar. How do you feel when you're with your girlfriend or partner compared to the other people in your life that you value and care about? What does your instinct tell you? Do you like spending time with this person or not? Or do you tolerate them just for the moments you enjoy spending time with them, like sex or whatever? Then you have to get away from them. You need your time away. But with your family and friends, you don't feel that way. So even if you don't ask her for money, because that's a big extreme. Most women don't like a guy that's on the first date, hey babe, pay for me. But ask her to do things. Then you'll actually see through her actions if she can show affection. So yeah, I know women after men's money is a cliche. So when you first meet a woman, before you get to know her, if you lead with give me money, it's kind of like if you meet a woman and she leads with her test. Your interpretation is going to be like, she's a whatever. So gauge her character. So do it in a way that you can actually see if she cares about you. So ask her to be kind to you. If you want to know if she's a decent human being, ask her in a subtle way to show that she's a decent human being, indirectly. So it doesn't have to be about money. Raphael says, that which is chased runs away. Yep. In general, yep. Yeah, this is a good one by the Bushman. He says, it's better to be alone than spend your days wishing that you were alone. Exactly. There's nothing worse than feeling alone when you're with someone you're supposed to be in love with. That's like it. that's like this constant feeling of malaise, or this feeling as though your heart's like a sponge that's being wringed out all the time and twisted. It's an awful, empty, really dead feeling. Yeah, Luke says, divorced. I learned that bad relationships can cost you $500,000 and 7 years of barely seeing your kids. And then the insult people tell you is, oh, just try again. You picked the wrong woman. If you don't want to have anything to do with women, if you've gone through that, that's what I find really insulting. They don't actually see your pain. They can't objectively see a guy who's been divorced, had effectively 10 or 20 years of his life just taken from him in a blink of an eye, and she's wiped her backside with him, spat on him effectively in life, treated him like rubbish and thrown him away like that, and treated him undeservingly, like inhuman. And then the insult by her and everyone else is like, well, you just picked the wrong woman. It's your fault. That situation is your fault. That you can't see your kids and you've had 20 years of effort in terms of production and work taken away from you for nothing. And then they also insult you, say, well, you think money is important. Well, when I'm the one that spends all my time earning it, that's my major contribution, because that's the way I can actually protect, provide, and make you feel safe. And then you say I should be ashamed for the affection I showed through work, time, effort, and money. The psychological manipulation just annoys the crap out of me. And it actually shows when they don't look at a man's pain who's had things like this happen to him. $500,000, like half his life taken away through time, effort, and money. And he's supposed to be stoic and say, well, that doesn't matter. I'm a man. I don't need anything. I'm above money. That's supposed to be attractive. Oh, how convenient. You haven't had to waste your time, effort, and sweat and produce things for another person and have it just taken away from you. How would a woman like 20 years taken away in her life? That's how guys feel when money's taken away from them, because we know what it is to earn it for the future. So when a woman takes it, she's taken our past and then demoralized us for our future too. So she's taken more time overall. Whereas a woman just sees money as stuff that you can use to buy crap with. It's a very different sort of way of looking at things. Alpha Dog Elite 3, thank you very much for the super chat. I appreciate it, man. You're the best. Remember to hit the like and subscribe button, guys. Doesn't cost you a thing, but it helps my channel out. Let's get over 100,000 if we can. Yeah, Chris says, yeah, be honest to yourself, not about women. If you're honest to yourself, then, yeah, you're honest about women. You can always complain about being sunburned, but if you try and do something about it, you still might get sunburned, but not to the degree when you're willfully ignorant about it. It's like if a guy gets divorced, like the previous comment, and unfairly has his life stripped away from him, kids taken away. But if a guy gets divorced and his kids taken away and the same kind of trauma happens twice, 3 times, and he's going to get married the 4th time, then it's like, dude, I can't help you. Willful ignorance. That's like, but if a guy sort of does everything well-meaning, can you really blame them? And it's not to say that one person's completely innocent and the other person's completely a villain, but it really annoys me how, you know, the nice guy who did nothing is still not given any sympathy, but the woman who acted like a wretch and took everything and added insult to injury and denied him his kids and took his money and his house away, and the guy's living in a one-bedroom apartment somewhere and needs to restart his life from a position he was in when he was 18 now, but now is an old man with absolutely no sympathy. Whereas if you did that to a woman, everyone, men and women, would go, yeah, that sucks. That person deserves sympathy. But for a man, it's the opposite. It's not just that men and women are different, it's the reaction to men and women that's very different too. Remember guys, if you want to ask a question, make sure you add emojis at the front, otherwise I will not probably see them. Emojis. Jose says, men are very easy to manipulate by women, but a man can barely influence a woman these days. Why do you think that is? Men are very direct and simple. Most women understand this when they go, men just want this. Women can read men and they know what men want. That's why you don't have books and movies, or there's really a lot of dating coaches for women. Women don't care, and women can read men pretty easily. Men are very obvious in what they want. Women are very vague. They don't know what they want themselves, act like they know everything, want to run relationships when they don't know much of anything and their feelings change from day to day, and then blame the guy for it all. So that's why it's very easy to manipulate a man, because a man is very black and white. A man tends to say what he means, whereas a woman tends to change her mind, lie, or just say what she needs to say in the moment to feel good. So women are very, very hard to interpret and understand a lot of times, and even if you do, they change, and then you kind of get a sense of, well, that's the way women are. So I treat them like it's something that's unstable and very fragile emotionally, and where they sit in my life and where I can count on them. So you don't count on women, you count on men and the sun rising and rain and air and water. But women are something that's always like wind. And that's not a good thing, because if you want to have long-term with women or trust women, if you're constantly perceiving them as shifting, then you care about them less and less. You care about things that are solid. You know, the sky's always blue. My friend is always there. People who keep their word, who I can trust. Things that you can trust, you can have long-term relationships with. I trust that the sun comes up tomorrow. I can have a relationship long-term with that perception. But if I never know, if you know, as a metaphor, I can trust a woman to be consistent like the sun, or the sky being blue, or my friend helping me when I need them, then of course women can't complain. Why won't men love us or be with us? You're something that men can't be with. We can't count on you. So we have relationships with you to the degree that we can trust you and understand you. We understand you as transient in the way you think and who you are. So we'll have transient relationships with you. We have more solid long-term relationships with things like the sun and water because we can. They will stay consistent tomorrow. Chris says, it's not that they can't spell or construct a sentence, it's that they don't care. I don't mean that as a disparagement. I mean that it's no longer valued by young people due to text culture. Yeah, that's true too. The culture, it's cool to be so confident that you don't give a flying F how you spell, in the same way that previous generation and the grunge generation in the 90s, you had these women who were overweight showing their muffin tops and wearing tight jeans and being proud of being unfit and sloppy. It's like, I'm so confident that I don't care what you think of me and I feel good. So the excellence of anything is disregarded now. But the bad thing is that other people perceive you as being sloppy in how you look or how you speak, how you communicate. It all plays into, I don't find you attractive because you're sloppy. Don't mind me, I'm just focusing. Jose, thank you very much for the super chat. I appreciate it. Thank you, man. Okay. Remember, guys, questions with emojis. Yeah, all this thing about money and women, I know it's hard because you see how well women respond to when you pay for them. But if you always have to do that, otherwise they fall out of love or they don't like you anymore, that's not a good thing. So again, that's why I keep going back to how is your relationship with your friends? Because in your friends, you might pay for your friend and insist on, oh, I'll get these round of drinks, or let me get the pizza, or I'll get this, or whatever. You don't actually care because your friend does it back. They show you in ways where it's reciprocated, either directly by money or in other ways. So for me, I don't care if I'd buy my ex buy her dinner, or when we go out I'd pay for something, if in other ways I see how she treats me. She puts effort in showing me whether she cooks, or she just sort of treats me really well, that I want to do something for her naturally. But if it's this kind of like, I'm a money machine, I'm a wallet, and that's the only way I can keep this relationship going, or she'll take my kids away, house away, she'll leave me, that kind of fear, knowing that I better keep the money coming out of the wallet, or I'm afraid this is all going to end. That's what you don't want. And I know women's nature, but if you're a woman where you get that feeling where if the money stops, she's gone, that is why I'm very big on finding out early on, because that's where I've made a lot of mistakes in the past, where a woman was quiet, or I believe what I saw, but I didn't really want to inquire deeply. I didn't directly ask her questions and observe proof of her valuing me, even if I had less money, or even if I can't provide this or that. Does she actually like being around me? Does she like my personality? Do we have things in common? That's the important thing. If you don't have much in common, you need time away. The only thing that keeps you together is the act, is the male providing and the woman providing sex, or whatever the guy wants. And the moment the other person stops providing it, like she stops sleeping with you, or you stop providing money, then you don't want to be around each other. It's a very, very loose connection to you two staying together, and let alone if you've had kids. So it's better that the other person has friend qualities that you really enjoy spending time together, so that you couldn't imagine losing this person you love spending a lot of time with, talking, hanging out with, chilling out with, in whatever lifestyle you have. Because If one of you makes less money or has a worse car, it doesn't matter, because the totality, the main center of your relationship is about the company you keep with them. So then if you have less money, or I don't know, if she gains a bit of weight or loses a bit of weight, in terms of like the physical aspect that you appreciate of her, it doesn't make a big deal, because the central thing isn't about that. Those other things are icings on the cake. So the icing of the cake is if you've got a nice car, but it doesn't really matter. The cake is the stuff you appreciate from family and friends. Does that kind of make sense? Just the Guy says, never cared much for Victoria's Secret model types, but beauty is important, sure, but beauty can be subjective as well. Why would you be with someone you are not attracted to? That is true, unless of course you are talking about non-romantic relationships. No, I mean that certain people might have quirks that they like in others. Like, for instance, I've always found, for some reason, larger noses, more prominent noses on women sexy. I don't know why. Other people have fetishes. They might like certain features on the face or body. I've always liked a more plain-looking, everyday woman, or even a woman who isn't that facially attractive. I think I like her because she hasn't been trained her whole life to think she's a goddess, and a lot of those women who are naturally beautiful, they've gotten attention, and they've never had to develop being good to other people. If everyone's always kissing your feet, you haven't even got time to be nice to people, get everything you want. Whereas, say if you're an ugly woman that needs to develop other characteristics, you learn to find out, okay, how do I get someone to talk to? How do I understand what they want? Then you start to empathize and sympathize. Okay, I need to be this way to get this back. This is how I have a conversation. So you have to give to receive. But if you're a naturally beautiful woman that gets everything she's wanted all the time, you never have to give. That means if you get a woman like that, you never get anything. It's a one-way street from you to her all the time. And if you don't do that, she'll leave and find someone else because she is that beautiful. So I think unconsciously over time, I distrust perfect women, and I like character, because through that you start to see life in a person. They reveal certain things that are more human, pardon the pun. And so I think I find imperfect women, especially physically, especially facially, but yeah, I obviously, my nature, I like a sexy body. Yeah, I mistrust perfectly faced women. I like something that's odd, or it's like, think of it this way. I find it attractive when a woman doesn't know how attractive she is. It's more likely she's going to be a human being that's not up herself. So that plays into it. Whereas, and women tend to be really bad to each other. Other women will tease other women who aren't beautiful. They'll put them down. Women have a tendency to feel a pecking order. If a woman feels like the ugly duckling in her group because other women are more attractive than her, to belong in that group of girls, she'll learn to adjust herself and be more sympathetic or whatever. Not to say that she should submit to them, but the kind of person who's not full of themselves superficially on just how they look, develop human qualities where they have to gauge other people and to exist with them, learn how to give, to receive. And then later on, I think you got more chance of meeting nice girls or being around nicer personalities if they weren't perfect supermodels. Because why would they need to develop sympathy? They don't have to. They get everything they want. They've got 1,000 guys willing to just be a one-way street of give, give, give. Some of these question guides are very general. I don't know how to begin answering them. They're so big that it'll take an hour to answer each one of them. Omega Sigma says, Human, would it make any sense to identify lessons learned in our relationships with our past self and with our future self? Could this provide any value in developing relations with others? I'm not sure what you mean by that exactly. Yes, learn from lessons of who we were to make better decisions now, and that will take care of the future self. Don't try and focus on the future self. Don't avoid who you are now, because who you are now is the only person that's going to make decisions that will result in the future you. So don't focus on the future you too much. Plan and be prudent. Don't be wasteful and reckless. But don't kind of think in past self, future self. Past self, to learn lessons and be mindful of. Future self is all you got. And the results of being a good, present self is all you've got. And the results of being focused on a good present you and the decisions you make as you take steps from the present you, they will result in a good future self. Chris says, the principle is not to be so invested that you can't walk away. It's not so much about being super invested and being able to walk away. That's not possible. Depends on if you can do it too. That's the thing. If I really like something or someone, I can't pretend not to. I'd rather be honest and express myself. And if they find it a turn off, fine. I want a person that understands me. Because I appreciate honesty myself. I don't like them playing games or me playing games, but maybe that's just me. And people will say, well, Human, you're never going to find anyone like that. But I'd rather be happy and make sense of the world and it be direct, or be indirect, play games and not really know how to... I don't want to have to game people and life. I've been through too much of that. I don't want to do it anymore. I'm happy just being boring like this, being so direct that it's boring. Thank you. Jean Antoine, it says, Human, thanks for the live stream. I wanted to ask if you could please activate closed captioning. I enjoy transcribing bits of your live videos. I reckon most with CC make it way easier. How do I do that? Can someone please tell me how I activate closed captioning on my live stream, if that's what you're talking about? So is there a way with live streams to activate subtitles? Is that what you mean? I'm not sure what you're saying. If someone could help me out, that'd be good. Pausing God said, until they discard you like a AAA battery. That's the hardest, when you're discarded like a bus ticket. You thought you were your perception is the hardest thing to accept. When you thought you were up here, and you're exactly the opposite. When you think the person values you more than anyone else, and then in an instant, she values you less than a stranger in the street. The stranger in the street is more attractive, and she wants them more than you. You're the last person on earth she wants. That's the hard thing. You know, where did the love go? That's why I kind of tell guys, if you've had really bad relationships, burn everything about them. Those cards, don't look at them again because they torture you. Looking at cards where a woman who really did a 180 on you, you're reading her cards of the past where it said, I love you, we're going to be together forever, and you're trying to, you pull yourself apart trying to understand that. Don't do that to yourself. There's no point trying to understand her. You're trying to rationally make sense of something irrational. Risk Will Pay says, how long do rebound relationships last? Can they work? That's a hard one, man. On the surface, no, because you're both wanting a temporary port to have fun with. You're both, like, rebound relationships are basically a holiday. Yeah, can you, if you go on holiday, can you be surprised and think, wow, I just wanted to have a holiday here, but you know what? I'm going to live here and I'll be happy here, and you are. Could happen. What's the most likely result? You need a holiday for rest or to decompress, and then you want to go back home because you know where home is for you. You know who you are. That's what happens. Rebound relationships are generally a holiday. Could result, but it's not black and white. Again, know yourself and you'll know if it can work. But I don't like the chances of it. Ken says, women do change. I've spent my life trying to determine at what point they change. It is when they hold the infant for the first time. That is when they change. Yeah, I've noticed that in one or two relationships, the moment they get a dog or when they have kids around them, they're all about that. You're invisible. So much for a woman's ability to multitask, huh? She can't deal with you anymore. Jay Carwash says, that's my ex 100%. Doing nice things for me was so hard for her. Yeah, that's why I mean, have some small needs. You don't have to get her to, you don't want her to be the man in your life. But if you're worried and you don't want her to do one little thing, and that's the only way you can feel like a man and she likes being with you, that you can't expect or ask her for anything. This is why in the past, it's laughable. Women today don't even want to make a man a sandwich or if a woman knows what makes a man happy and she won't even do that, and it's something small, like, babe, get me a drink. It's like, that's offensive. I'm not your slave. It's like, I didn't say you're my slave, but can you do anything for me that I ask? Like, if I ask you for something, don't you want to show affection in the smallest way? Hey, babe, can you just pass me that? You get it yourself. Like, okay, so I'm alone in this relationship. You're the queen and I'm your servant. Yeah, that's really loving. It's really trusting. Mr. Smith says, 288 people are watching at the moment and less than 100 thumbs up. Yeah, give me a thumbs up, guys. Subscribe and hit the bell. It's free. Helps me out. If you enjoy the stream, just click the thumbs up button and subscribe if you like my work. Yeah, Focused on the Future says, watch out for love bombing when she goes out of her way for a short time, but that soon ends, like 3 months. That's why pay attention to consistency with a woman. It's easy to get blown away when you think, wow, she's different. But make sure you're sober and you make sure the consistency lasts for months and months, up to a year. Then you can sort of go to the next stage, whatever you want and what you're comfortable with and what you want out of life with this person. But yeah, that honeymoon period, I distrust it. I want the honeymoon period to be over. And for me, the honeymoon period usually lasts maybe 5 to 10 months, somewhere around there, depending on the personality, how open they are, how much I get along with them, etc., etc. I want things in that period, to be consistent, and I can really see that this person's solid. But if they're always distant, aloof, I don't really know much about them, I still feel like I can't trust them. I feel like I can't say anything to them. I have to restrain myself. I have to hide parts of myself. I have to hide this part of my life from her. She gets offended at this. Not a good sign. Living Movie, thank you very much for the super chat donation. His comment is, refusing to abandon hobbies and interests you're passionate about. I think this is to the title of this video is, what have you learned from bad relationships? He says, refusing to abandon hobbies and interests you're passionate about, they can end up being intruding, defining aspects of your they can end up being intriguing, defining aspects of your personality if they are truly important to you in the eyes of future partners. Yeah, women who ask you to give up your passions and hobbies, or put them down, or make you give them up because they're putting them down, or they think they're silly or stupid or childish. I remember my first ex, I love drawing, always have, always will. And whenever I just spend time sketching, I remember once, she knew how much I loved drawing. And I remember she said once, I know you like drawing, but I'm not going to be with a starving artist. In other words, telling me that you better grow up. This better be a phase, or you better grow out of this. It's childish that you draw. And I felt just a real awful feeling inside, like you just sort of put a knife through the thing that I personally really just enjoy. It's like hurting something that's got nothing to do with her. It's like if I've got a dog I love and I'm patting, and she would say, I know you love your dog, but get over it, because either, it's going to die soon, or I don't want you to have it in the future. Enjoy your time with it, but I don't want to be with a guy who has a dog. That kind of feeling. And I really can't stand it, because I love my dog, i.e. I love drawing. I always will. Suppose in a way, my passions, my art, my writing, my drawing especially, is like a dog that'll never die. It never has a lifespan, it'll die when I die. Ayun asks me about hair tips. Very funny. Ted1775 says, ask women for money so that they will leave. That's a good way to end a relationship, I suppose, if you want to be avoidant and facetious, is start asking her for money all the time. She'll fall out of love really quickly. Yeah. Wolfie No 39 says, those tests from both sides get exhausting. I don't like the enjoyment of life with me comes when I can be as honest as I can, or as honest as I'm trying to be, to understand, to have conversations. It's hard enough trying to understand and enjoy life without having to add on top of that game playing in order to understand life. It's cleaner and more minimalist and direct, to be simple, to be clear, to say what you mean. I think these games are masking fear. So a woman's afraid, so she wraps it up in fake personalities and staying quiet, and I suppose guys can do it too. But direct, honest, and then you can trust the person more, even if you don't like what you hear. It's just easier. Less stress, less cortisol in your life. You sleep better. Mr. Smith says, men with low self-worth lead with wallet. If she desires you, she will break bread with you. Remember, guys, if you want to ask a question, add a whole bunch of emojis before your question so I can see them in the chat stream. Just the guy asks, what do you think of a human? What do you think of sugar daddy type of relationships with a younger woman? I think it's not that bad. Yeah, I suppose it's a sort of honest, prostitute transaction, an escort type transaction. It is what it is. It's all you want. You just want sex and a little bit of time with her, and that's all you want from them. You don't really care about their personality as long as they don't annoy you. And you can sample a lot of variety, so you can be with different women. But the point with me is, if you're a person who likes consistency, I don't like spending so much energy on female strangers. I'd rather spend my energy on one female, and I want that consistently in my life, and I don't want to have to worry about it anymore. I don't like having to worry and think about women so much that I'm chasing multiple women all the time, gaming them and adjusting my life to accommodate them and chase them and blah, 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 blah. And even if I'm just going to have them temporarily, I have to keep spinning all those plates. I'd rather have that thing in my life and be good with it and get on with my life and do other things, create and enjoy my life in a relaxed way. Not have to worry about the next woman all the time. Next woman. It's like it's a very future-focused thing, and I'm never enjoying the present with a consistent woman. It's when I think about it, it's like it's having future relationships consistently. It's like a future-focused relationship with multiple different strangers all the time. You're always living forward with future women temporarily that you never get to hold for more than 5 seconds. Yeah, I kind of like more stability in my life. Look, if you can get friends with benefits that's consistent, I'd that is something that would work more for my personality than just juggling different women all the time. I don't need that variety. Because if you meet a woman that you like, why would you not want to see her again? Dankenstein, thank you very much for the super chat. His comment is, fanciful delusions of discovering a unicorn notwithstanding, what are your thoughts on compromising looks in favor of chemistry or vice versa? I think chemistry, look, your initial biological reaction to someone you're attracted to or you find interesting is like, cool. For me, their personality washes over me like an unexpected tidal wave. So when a woman has a personality that's like mine, that floors me. There's a lot of attractive women out there. Online, there's a lot of PORN, and women walk around looking like that. So physically objectifying, like in terms of objectifying, they're everywhere. So there's a lot of hot things to look at and to fantasize over. What's ultra rare is to be hit with a personality that matches yours, that makes you want them deeply. Like, I want them in my life. I want to inhale this person permanently. I want them in my life. Like, you see the car that you want to buy. That's going to be the car you never sell. Or you've got a friend that you value for life. That kind of very internal, personal feeling. So the chemistry, looks are everywhere. And especially with women, women can change their looks, and move their looks to accommodate your, like if you like a certain type of woman, the platinum blonde look, or you like the European looking girl, the Kim Kardashian looking girl, women can change their makeup and appearance to accommodate and be the girl you want superficially. Nearly all women can adjust themselves. What they can't do is be the personality that organically matches you. That's the hard thing. So if you just, that's why I've learned, like I've been with the wrong kind of women that look good, that that biologically I find attractive, but I've learned that that's nothing because I keep getting disappointed. So I'd rather not be disappointed in what I'm attracted to. So yeah, I'm attracted to what I'm attracted to, and I've got like a range, but I'm only really permanently in a deep way attracted to a woman very specifically in terms of her character. So that's the thing that really floors me and stands out. So I can compromise on looks quite easily, but not someone who's unhealthy or overweight, fat, or is the extreme of something that I'm not biologically attracted to. But what really locks me in is a familiarity in terms of personality and values and the kind of person and lifestyle. Is this true? Hydrostatic says, in the UK, it's illegal to try and catch your girlfriend or wife cheating. So if you suspect that your wife or girlfriend's cheating, you can't actually hire someone to find out for you or find out if she is. If you do, it's illegal. That is stupid. Is she allowed to do that? Is she allowed to find out if you're cheating though? I bet she is. I bet it's okay the other way around. It's getting pretty bad in the UK. I think you guys have overtaken us or are about to. Wet Palette Warrior says, the establishment wants atomized men and women, no coherent loyal families, or even aware, confident men. The establishment wants to sell and make more money from individuals. Yeah. Make us all individuals. Men and women are separated. Because if men and women are together, there's a unit, and then you have a family, and then you have a community. And all of a sudden, you have a lot of people that can challenge authority. But as an individual, it's very, very hard, if not impossible, you as an individual person to challenge anything. You can't challenge the establishment. But groups that believe in a philosophy can. So that's why they want men and women apart. You break men and women apart, you atomize everyone, you can control everyone really easily. There's not much an individual person can do. But a group of people in one direction can. Jay Wickman says, I'm into crooked teeth. That's not too Victoria's Secret. No. See, that's what I mean. Sometimes people have fetishes. Mine is women who have got big noses for some reason, or pronounced noses, or they're not perfect in their face. I like great bodies, sure. But I like a bit of character in a woman's appearance, like especially her face. She doesn't look like every other girl. Yeah, it's almost like when they're super beautiful, you probably won't like their character, and they look like a plastic kind of magazine. I don't know. I just find ordinary faces more appealing. Again, quirk of mine. Look, I'm not going to deny a beautiful woman, but the kind of things that I particularly find appealing are subjective, I suppose. Yeah, Mr. Highway says, those plain Jane girls are the biggest CC riders sometimes. Yeah, some of these women hide with the mask of, I'm just the girl next door, I'm just a relaxed everyday girl. Yeah, look, A lot of people hiding. Today it's easy to hide in social media. You can split your personality. You can be multiple different people. The Bushman said, it's the friendship and values shared that hold said friendship intact and intelligence. There is a lot of a misconception that stupid is hot. Stupid is dangerous and very frustrating. Yeah. A stupid woman who thinks she's right and is owed everything today is very dangerous, because the system allows her to be as dumb and entitled as her stupidity wants her to be. So yeah, a stupid woman today is very dangerous. Remember guys, if you want to ask questions, make sure you put some emojis, otherwise I might not see them. I see a lot of questions, people asking me questions, I happen to come across them, and you're not sort of putting emojis. I might miss them. John Davis, thank you very much for the super chat donation. I appreciate it. He wrote something in Latin. I don't know if I'm pronouncing this properly. Stardust would be able to pronounce this better than I. He says, "De oppresso liber non gratum annus rodentum." I hope I pronounced that properly. Whatever that means, I'm sure it was something I agree with. Things in Latin usually are things I don't tend to disagree with. Red Sings the Blues, thank you very much for the donation, man. I appreciate it. I haven't forgotten about us having a chat in the future, so we'll tee that up. Smash the like button. Yeah, it's free. Thump says, did you catch Tim Pool's FE Eminist saying men need to step up and provide value to... Yeah, right. Yeah, with women with a capital F, there's always a long way to go. There's always more people need to give women. I've learned to sort of just ignore what they say. They're always complaining and wanting things handed to them. You never hear them saying, look what we did. It's always like, look what you haven't given us yet. Look what you're not doing yet. Look how you're not man enough yet. All men seem to be saying is, can you just be nice? I'm sick of you being such an awful person. Yeah, I'm not sure that after this video, when it goes live, then YouTube actually puts the subtitles in it. But when it's live, it might not be able to quick enough put subtitles to my words. That might be what's happening. Mr. Smith says, speaking of subtitles, some of these broads need subtitles attached to understand what they are saying. Yeah. Remember guys, questions, put emojis. Emojis with questions. Wet Palette Warrior says, the unicorn is now the feminine, attractive, submissive, cooperative, and loyal woman. That's such a lot to ask for from a man, isn't it? Yeah. A man's standard. A man's standards are apparently high. I want someone I enjoy spending time with that I find attractive. That's pretty much it. Men aren't even asking her, like, these days. It's like, I don't hear men saying she has to cook or she has to do anything. It's like, can you just be nice? I like you. Can you be nice and be honest and keep your word? I can't understand you. I don't get you anymore, and you hate me. Why are men ignoring women? Yeah, gee, I wonder. Because it makes sense. You're more sane. Mr. Highway, thank you very much for the super chat. His comment is, relationships should be safe spaces. Yeah, even though I don't like that word, it's true. The one place you should be able to come home to that feels safe and where you can exhale should be your relationship. And he continues, he says, instead, they are filled with judgment. It's no wonder guys get analysis paralysis. Everything they do is judged. Yeah, but women don't like to be judged. Women don't like questions. Women don't like being responsible for the answers. Yeah, Wet Palette Warrior says, a woman will make you a sandwich if she can make one for herself too. Yeah, be careful. Don't confuse, if she makes you dinner and she's eating with you, that's nice and you appreciate it. But I'm saying, when she goes out of her way to do something for you, that's when you notice. Ask for that. Even better, she does it without you asking. She does things that you know you like, and it puts a smile on her face to do it. And you show her appreciation for that. And she keeps doing it. She keeps looking for ways to put a smile on your face like you do that for her. Too often today, guys are just grateful to be with her. And it's that one-way street of keep her happy, keep her happy, keep her happy. And she usually never is. It's just complaining, 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 do more, do more, do more. This is the thing, women it amazes me they fail to understand. A woman will never feel loved if she doesn't give first. It's like in business, you got to spend money to make money. She'll never make love if she doesn't spend love. So she kind of sits there going like, no, I just want money and I don't want to do anything for it. Why don't I feel loved? It's a tennis match. You have to hit the ball over the fence to have it be hit back to you. It just amazes me that women don't want to do a thing. It's not just unfair. You can't actually feel loved as a woman if you don't give it. But yeah, a woman will make you a sandwich if she makes one for herself. That's why, pay attention to the things where she does it, where she actually gets nothing from the gesture other than the appreciation from you. Kenji says, human, it's not that they can't multitask, it's that they bond to the infant is so that their bond to the infant is so strong that they question how little they actually care about their father. Yeah, perhaps. I wonder if how many women actually consciously realize that, though. MGTOW Biologic says, a woman's insanity is quite consistent. That's true. So I take it back. Women, the place in life where women are consistent is their insanity and their inconsistency. It reminds me of the saying is like, I can resist everything except temptation. John says, my wife went out with friends for a birthday. No partners were invited. Jokingly, she said, "What if she gets picked up?" And without missing a beat, I said, "I will help you pack your things on Sunday." Good for you. Because women didn't have social media, all they had were dudes in their friend circles. Yeah. Social media, it's not... See, I don't like when they say, oh, well, social media's done this. It's there, but if you use it and you get addicted to it, it's not social media's fault, it's yours. It's like, I don't blame donuts. You got to blame yourself for not being able to stop eating. You don't blame McDonald's, you blame yourself. It's too easy to blame social media. It's there. Yeah, it could be addictive to certain personalities, but that's a way of knowing, does my girl like me, or is social media really making it hard for her to naturally like me? No. That's a good test of it in terms of if she actually does like you, if she can be the person. Like, I'll only know the person likes me to the degree that to which she has temptation or tests in life that she can value me above those things. So does she value me above social media or being distracted or being with multiple guys and cheating on me? The more she can say no to all these other things and yes to me, that shows me where her values lie. Not, well, she would be a faithful wife if it wasn't for social media and Tinder. I can't really blame her. It's like, nah. You don't blame McDonald's for the walrus that's sitting on your couch, or for the woman that's sort of poor girl, she can't help herself from cheating or not treating you well. Oh, she doesn't treat me well, it's because of social media. Really? What kind of excuse can you make as a guy in the same way? No, you can't make excuses. You've got to actually be real about things. Okay, Gene actually just mentioned how I might be able to set up closed captions before a stream. I don't think I can do it now. I don't actually see an option. Okay, here it is. Caption certification. Okay, I'll look into it for next time. Am I still live? Oh, I think it paused. I can't read your name because it's in another language, but your comment is, for some reason all females are interested in past partners and are comparing how guys acted with them and with her. Do you think they think we don't evolve? Yeah, I suppose a woman, when she hears you talk about her past, she's worried about that you're going to treat her the same way. But also, we should pay attention when a woman's talking about her past and how she was and how she treated her ex and how her ex treated her. Pay attention to that as well. People evolve, but also a lot of people's nature doesn't change. So we need to pay attention to that too. There's a difference. Smash the like button, guys. Physiaxolot says, Human, do you play any instruments? I make music online on the computer, but no, I don't play any actual instruments. I'm learning musical notation like piano, but I'm composing online. But no physical instruments. Sorry. Why am I apologizing? I'm not sorry, I just don't. I'd rather peel carrots than spend time with a woman. MGTOW Biologic. Ted1775, human, nice t-shirt. Really? It's just a plain grey sports top. I like plain stuff. I'm not a big fan of like brands and stuff like that. Scott says, I just last night told my best friend, who's a female married to my friend, that I had feelings for her, as she has been in bad relationship with him the last 7 years of verbal abuse from him. You told your female friend who's married to your friend that you had feelings for her, as she has been in a bad relationship with him the last 7 years. Very abusive for him. That doesn't make sense. So he's been in a bad he's been in a bad abusive relationship with her, but you have feelings for her and you told her. What? Maybe I'm misinterpreting this. Scott, why would you tell a girl who's married to your friend that you have feelings for her, but she treats your friend like crap? She's verbally abusive. That doesn't make sense. Maybe I'm interpreting it wrong. Thomas, how many cats are too much? I don't know. More than 2? I suppose it's like, as well, like when you start having too many pets, it's a bit of a odd sign. Let me have a look at any more comments. Yeah. Awake Veteran says if they can't hold a conversation and are always on the phone, no go. Yeah. Pay attention to a person you like spending time with, guys, and you find attractive. Don't overcomplicate it with like a million philosophies. Trust your intuition as well. Boffin Grusky, he said, pretend it's your ex and hit the thumbs up button, guys. Can I use that, Boffin? That's awesome. I'm going to use it in the future. Pretend the thumbs up button is your ex. smash the button. Yeah, Ted1775. An immature woman is highly annoying and toxic. Yeah. Shinobi asks, Human, do you know or speak many languages? If so, do you have a favorite? Predominantly English, and my heritage is a European country, which I don't speak very well. I only speak it with my family and old relatives. I don't speak it very well. Crummy VCR says, Human, I think the worst part of relations are the fact that so many females are so lacking self-consciousness and them understanding little to nothing of actual substance. Well, that's why listen to if you have a date with a girl or you start talking, actually see if you can have an interesting conversation if you enjoy spending time with them. I mean, they don't have to be PhD level geniuses, but if you can have an enjoyable conversation with them, time flies. You just feel comfortable and familiar around them like you do with your friends. You enjoy the time spent with them and you can express yourself. If you don't like talking, fair enough. I like talking, expressing ideas and having conversations, and then I get deeper and I feel more of a bond and a closeness with the person where I can not just share my presence, my physical body, but also my mind and who I am. That's a deeper closeness. If I can't do that, it's kind of always at a distance with a person, especially if they're not my kind of person. Red pill consciousness, Human, what are your thoughts on SEMEN retention? I don't know enough about it. I've been asked this, I think last time. I haven't sort of looked into it. I don't know. I don't know my thoughts about it. So I can't really say anything. But when I do, I'll have an opinion. Wet Pellet Warrior. Is it when you ask a woman, can you be nice? You get your head blown off. Wet Pellet. He says, I've seen husbands get daggers from wives for asking them to smile, or the dreaded statement of calm down. Brad says, be nice, honest, and keep your word. Like all three at once, it's never going to happen. Need at least 7 different women to get all of these 3. Yeah, Fortis said, I am so bloody sick of hearing the phrase step up. Yeah, be a man, step up. Today, I think because of like what's happened in the world in the last year, everyone's feeling more afraid and insecure. All of a sudden now women have amnesia. They're no longer the girl power women of yesterday. Now they're these women that want to move forward and step up and turn a new page. It's like you were the same women you were last year, but now things are a bit more, the party's over in the world. No one cares about your girl power as much as they did 2 years ago. Thor says, what's that saying? Men don't have value until they do something to earn it. Women have value until they do something to lose it. That's a good saying. Robin Fox, thank you very much for the donation. He says, we've created a society where women get given everything with no accountability or responsibility required. Yeah, this is the thing. How do you fix it? Guy can't do it because he's considered the enemy, and it seems like he's putting her down. So men can't help women because it seems like we're being condescending. So only women can help themselves, and they're too entitled because they keep patting themselves on the back for being wonderful, for doing absolutely nothing. Andy Baby says, Human, how did you decide to go public, show your face, and how has it affected your life, work, relationships? I've addressed this a few times in the past, but basically I got to a point where I wanted to. The things I want to talk about are more personal, and I felt like I wasn't communicating myself. It's not just the ideas, but how I communicate them. So this stuff is face-to-face. It's real. It's about you. It's about a person. So I wanted to show my face because I wanted to communicate more in line with the topics I'm talking about, as in honest human things, the subjects that I talk about. How it's affected my work life, I kind of came to the realization that the only thing I worry about is what the women in my life will say. And I don't say anything in my videos that I don't say to them. They know this is my personality when I get into these topics with the women who know me. So, and then at the time, the girl I was with, I thought, well, if she finds out, she won't like it. But if she doesn't like it and she leaves me, good. Because I want the people in my life who understand me to see these videos and recognize that's just human. I might not like it, but really, if I'm actually going to shame him, it's like I don't want that person in my life because I'm this person on these topics with the women in my life. And I came to realize that I only was a little bit worried about them. In terms of my work and profession, no, I work in a kind of a male-only environment where I'm pretty moderate. There are guys where I work that are much worse than me. They're true misogynists. So in terms of my workplace, I don't worry about that because and a couple of them they know about my channel and they find it funny. So my workplace doesn't care. Donna says, boomers turned marriage into an Olympic sport. Not anymore. Those Olympics are over. It's almost like now marriage has been turned into like some cool hipster thing. You know, a lot of the hipsters like buying old sneakers or wearing vintage clothes. Marriage has become some cool hipster thing now. It's like, oh, let's get married so we can be retro. DMAX says, an older married native friend said to me, all women have a chemical imbalance. He was 100% serious as well. Rod says, you mentioned she must value you above all else. What are your thoughts on a woman's false sense of hypergamy? I don't know what you mean by that. Her false sense of hypergamy. Sorry, I'm not sure what you mean. Wet Palette Warrior says, the modern woman conflates duty to one husband as slavery, to raise children as a burden to their career, and to be a housewife as beneath them. Is family not a noble pursuit? Yeah. Women have been conditioned to... See, this is the thing. Women love putting each other down. Now you've got enough women being able to put each other down by putting each other down via the thing they like the most. So when a woman tries to be happy in love, family, men, all other women will stack on her and make her feel awful about it. So the way not to feel awful around other women is to pretend to sort of be like the FE feminists and like less chance for women to put you down. So anything that will make you a happy woman with a man, women believe they should avoid it and not tell other women about it and hide it. And it's just I couldn't imagine being a woman in today's world. The other women you'd need to tolerate and put up with. And then they pretend the sisterhood. Sisters, we've got each other's backs, while you know that your sisterhood is the first people who are going to shame you. Jose, what advice do you have for those that have a lady luck on their side? What do you mean by that? I'm not sure what you mean by that. Gonzalo, human, do you wear pants during your live stream? Yes. I'm not like a news reader where I'm just sitting in my underwear. Xaman 2020, thank you very much for the super chat. His comment is, my ex-partner used to breastfeed my son while texting. What has the world become? What a mother. Mr. Highway says, why do you think people assume their children will love them? People romanticize having children in a very blue pill way. In reality, your child will most likely be a failure or average at best, or they think they're kids, they'll take care of them, like in historical times when you lived in a village. Most likely, your child's going to move to another country, you'll never see them, you'll be on your own anyway. Your children might be grateful that they inherit some money and property from you, but they're not going to take care of you, not today's children. So that romantic notion is also false, I think. But yeah, good point. Yeah, I don't know how you can actually... I know people have told me that the younger generation, they don't date anymore, they just hook up. Their attention span is so short, everyone's on their mobile phones. You can't get to know anyone. But even back in my day, women tended to be fairly empty. In these days, they're completely empty. Because they've got their heads in their mobile phones. You can't even have a conversation with most women because they're so into their social media and they're checking their phones. I pity the young guy. Rod says again, what are your thoughts on a woman's false sense of hypergamy? I don't think men can ever feel completely secure in a relationship. So do you mean by false sense of hypergamy that a woman will think, I'll never leave you, but then when certain buttons are pushed, like, he loses his job, she does. And so then a man's always got a false sense of security. Perhaps. But the best you can do is judge a woman as honestly as you can. Spend enough time with her, years and years. Enough time to judge her character that you can trust her. Not to be pressured into marriage if you don't want to. Not to be pressured into relationships if you don't want to. Not to be pressured into even moving in together if you feel 1 ounce of insecurity. I don't suggest you do it or don't do it. I don't care if you're single or you still date women. But your sense of security has to come from you. You can't sort of rely on her to be the main force in giving you your security in a relationship with her. So, yeah. Anyway, guys, sorry, I have to wrap it up soon. I got to be somewhere, which is why I started at 10:30 and not 11 today. But we had a good one today. 350 concurrent people today. Delta Dan says that Aussie girls and Ukrainian ones are his kryptonite. They get me in trouble. In my past, yeah, the crazy hot mess was the one, but predominantly with me was was I think loud Italian girls or loud European girls. But then I kind of later figured out the loud bit just got me to notice them. I don't like the loud anymore at all. It doesn't suit my personality. It actually makes me kind of cringe now. It's funny how you change from who you were when you were young to now. It's like you notice yeah, I know why I responded that way. It gets me to notice them. Something in my biology gets stimulated by like a loud girl who looks attractive. But the loud bit belies a lot of personality that is definitely not me. Alonzo says, why are married men so little support for divorced guys? They seem to run a mile. What do you mean by that? Do you mean that when guys get divorced, their friends aren't around or something? I can't understand the question. All right, guys, if you got any final questions, shoot them to me with some emojis, make them stand out, chuck them in a super chat. Let's hit the finish line. I have to go in a moment. The Ninax says, why do many Red PILL channels say there is nothing to learn from relationships except for women equals hypergamy? So try to be another Chad. Little mention of virtues to strive for, but looks and money. Yeah, this is a frustration with me, and it's all external. Let's look at the structure, because the reason you want relationships is because of intuition, emotion, compatibility, who you are in relation to someone else and the familiarity therein, knowing a moral philosophy, having values and ethics, rather than man is this, woman is this, let me pick someone who love. You know, it's kind of like you're being robotic. I don't get it as well. Yeah, women equals hypergamy, try and be a Chad, lift weights, make money. Yeah, then try and be happy and feel like a human being by being so robotic. It's stupid. I don't agree with it as well. It kind of, you don't self-reflect with that stuff. You keep focusing outward. The whole problem before was that you kept focusing outward on women, on money, on success, on structure, on trying to get somewhere to be validated by the world or women. For once, try something else like looking inward and seeing who you are. But no, the answer is be a Chad, lift weights, make money, have status, make all these empty women want you, and then pick one of the best looking ones, and that's all you need to do. But if you're a person that requires substance, like I do, that means I have to be interested enough in my substance and the substance of someone else. That's the only way that life's going to make sense to me. Now, those guys, the Chads and PUAs that laugh at me, well, great, they can keep spinning plates and buying cars and being successful and stuff. And fine, having money and nice cars and hot, empty women is fine, and it can be fun. But long term, I don't like running on that treadmill. The guy that goes for the empty bimbo has to keep recycling bimbos because he gets tired of them. He always needs a new one. The guy who buys a fast car needs to buy another fast car and get a new one. The guy who makes money needs to make more money. It's always more, different, more, different. I like enjoying consistency. That's me. MGTOW Biologic says it's not misogyny when it's true. True. All right, guys. Last questions. Make sure you hit the like button. Give me a thumbs up. It's free. Help the channel out. Help me get over 100,000. That'd be cool. And share my videos around to anyone you think it might help. Or just share it around on your social media if you feel like it. Basically spread the word. And let's keep the conversation going. I like producing videos and keeping and putting in all this effort. The more the conversation keeps going, the more guys are sharing information, sharing their stories, getting me to think about something, then I want to share something else. I like that. It's sort of, it feeds itself. This is funny. Hydrostatic says, when a woman says, I want a traditional man, and then a man says, okay, what's your body count? And then a woman goes, yeah, oh, I have to be traditional too? No, I just want a traditional guy. Does that mean I have to be traditional? Yes, that means you have to be traditional too. Part of women's problem is they want two opposing things. They want men to be traditional, but they want to be modern. If you want to be modern, men are going to be modern too. If you want traditional men, you have to be traditional too. Cities are the worst place to find grounded, down-to-earth women. Human, do you agree? I also live in an Oz city. Yeah, I'd agree. It's harder. It's a cesspool of Tinder and online dating, whereas women have less options outside major cities, so they have to be more selective. They can't. They haven't got as many options. When you give women a lot of options, they go kind of nuts, and their lives they become a bit crazy. Just like shopping. When you give a woman a shopping mall and she's got endless time to shop for many different things and she's got endless choices, that's where she forms her addiction, and she can never be stable and be happy with the one thing she buys, or she can never date the one man. If she can always perpetually shop and always be on Tinder and have 1,000 options, she can never settle. Okay, guys, I got a jet. It was great doing this stream just a little bit earlier. I got to go be with family. Yeah, I hope you had a good time. Thanks a lot for the interesting comments and questions. And continue to leave some comments below. If not below this video, in the comments section on my channel. Under the post for this video, and it'll be interesting to see what some of you guys have, in a very mature philosophical way, what have you come to understand from the things you've learned from bad relationships? Not women are bad, men are good, or you're perfect and she was completely awful, but what have you learned now as a guy going forward? What are you going to be from now on? And you're going to leave behind all this crap that resulted in stress and heartbreak and feeling alone. Like, what are you going to do? How are you going to act? What are your new values and morals? How are you going to speak? How are you going to be more honest? What decisions are you going to make? So let me know your comments. Have a good day. Stay safe, and I'll see you in the next video, guys. Later.